We're joined with Sgt Tim Hill. Firstly, Tim, welcome along to the show.
Thank you. Thank you and good evening to you.
I was wondering firstly if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, Sgt Tim Hill. I work at the Community Safety Unit, which is based down at Swale Council. Basically, it's a couple of agencies that work together to reduce crime and antisocial behaviour. There's us, the council, and Amicus Horizon, who are the biggest social landlord in the area.
Now, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about shed security.
That's right. Spring's on its way, hopefully. I'm looking around for some daffodils, but I haven't yet seen any. But sure as eggs are eggs, once the weather starts picking up, unfortunately, we see a hike in shed breaks. This time last year, certainly between February and sort of July of 2010, Swale unfortunately suffered around 150 breaks to sheds, and there is a lot that the public can do to help us with that.
We're talking to Sgt Tim Hill. We're talking all about shed security here at the Monday Night Community Show. We're joined back with Sgt Tim Hill. We're talking all about shed security here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show. Tim, what sort of things can our listeners do to prevent this?
There's quite a few things. I mean, basically, if you think about the stuff that you might store in your shed, all these little things add up to probably quite a lot of valuable stuff that you have in there. First of all, make sure that everything that of value in your sheds got a postcode on it. There are lots of ways of doing this. You know, people get a little bit confused with ultraviolet markers, and there are a couple of quite sophisticated products on the market that can do that. But the bottom line is, if you just take a soldering iron or a sharp knife and just make sure that your postcodes are etched onto your thing in some way, shape or form, that makes it a lot easier for us to trace any stolen property. The second thing is obviously to consider locking your things together in your shed. Now, as we all know, sheds are often made of quite flimsy material, so I'm not going to kid anyone to try and suggest that we can secure sheds that well, because you know they're made of wood. But if you buy a decent lock, perhaps one that's recommended by Sold Secure, which is one that the police approve, and then you can lock your things together within the shed. It won't prevent anyone getting in there, but what it will do is make sure that it makes it very difficult for them to take the whole lot together out of the shed. Thirdly, I suppose we could look at actually securing your shed. There are a lot of quite good shed alarms on the market. Some of them work with contact points on your door, so that they go off. Others have got passive infrared motion detectors. Personally, I'd favour the ones with the contact points, because obviously you're going to get spiders and insects inside that might set it off by accident. Another good point to perhaps remember is that you know your shed's not going to last forever, and you will need replacing every sort of 10 to 15 years. So have a think about where you are going to put your shed. I think there's a sort of a tradition in the Great British Garden to put your shed right at the bottom, out of the way, round the corner. That's probably one of the worst places you can put it. It needs ideally to be situated fairly close to your house. Also, security lighting, always a firm favourite, and that helps sort of other issues such as burglaries and things like that. Personally, I'm not in favour of these big sort of halogen light spotlights that jump on and sort of flood the area with loads and loads of light. They go off a lot, and in my experience they don't necessarily sort of get reacted to by the public. Dogs can set them off, foxes set them off, and it's not necessarily, I don't think, perhaps one of the most neighbourly things you can do. A very good alternative is something called a dawn to dusk detector. Sorry, dusk to dawn I think I actually meant there. Yeah, it's basically got a lighting detector on it, so the light will come on as the night falls and stay on all night. And you could put one of those in with an outside light if you've got an electricity source, and if you put a sort of a low wattage bulb in there, it's not going to cost you sort of £2 or £3 for the whole year to run.
Do you have any useful contact details for our listeners?
Yeah, there's a couple of good websites. One of them, which we would recommend you having a look at, is immobilise.com. So that's www.immobilise with two M's swale.com. This is a free website which can link you to the National Police property register, and it's a way of you registering everything of value that you've got securely on a website, so that if unfortunately things do get stolen, you can let us know the full details of all the things that you've got. It takes a little bit of time to put them on the website, but certainly it's something that I've done for my possessions at home. And you can put your computers on there, your laptops, your TVs, everything that you've got of value, really. The second is our website itself, which is www.swalecsp.co.uk. And on there you'll find a wealth of information on how you can keep yourself safe in Swale.
Tim, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along and informing our listeners all about shed security.
Thank you very much.
That's Sergeant Tim Hill here at the Monday Night Community Show.